Welcome to Influential Sports, where passion meets precision. I'm your host, Ed, diving deep into the plays, players, and stories shaping the game. Hit the subscribe button, and let's get started. This topic I wanted to focus on because I've seen this really a lot recently, but mainly this year. But in order to build somebody up, do you have to tear somebody else down? Especially as far as it goes for wrestling. In a lot of cases, it's an argument between two wrestlers, maybe usually arguing between people talking about a few wrestlers, and it's always a negative connotation of one to bring up the other wrestler. I'll start with Sami and Jay. Jay can be a world champion, but Sami Zayn can't. No, nobody said that. Wasn't said. Completely missed the point. I don't actually, and let's clear this up. I trolled Sami Zayn because he didn't help Kevin Owens at the Royal Rumble. Sami Zayn, he's a cool wrestler. I just don't like the fact that he didn't help his quote-unquote best friend at the Royal Rumble in the biggest match of his career at that point, or one of the biggest. That's why I troll Sami Zayn. I don't think Sami Zayn is bad. His character is stupid. He shouldn't be the underdog when he's main event at WrestleMania, when he's beat Gunther, the most dominant IC champion of the century, according to WWE. So it's like, it's no hate against Sami Zayn. The nigga just has a bad character. And it's, oh, if Jay can get one, then Sami can too. I don't get the point of diminishing Jey Uso just to build up Sami Zayn, in your opinion. If you think Sami should be a world champion, cool, but there's other ways to justify that instead of just saying, well, if Jay can get one, then so can Sami. Jey Uso was the most important part of the most important story of the decade. Jey Uso was equally as important as Roman Reigns during that story. You can make the argument that Roman Reigns was more important with him being the world champion, but that story started with Jey Uso, and it should have ended with Jey Uso. That's how it should have ended. Then Jimmy turned heel for no reason. That didn't even make sense. Jimmy turning heel at SummerSlam makes no sense. Even if Jay won the WWE title and Ace tested it out, and he had it for 2 or 3 months, then lost it back to Roman, that would have been fine in the reign he got now when he had to go after the World Heavyweight Championship, a title he was never chasing, a story that was all right, but you needed to scrap Jimmy's WrestleMania plans to make that story work. Jay should have been the WWE champion. If it didn't work well after 2 or 3 months, just give it back to Roman. He could have easily did that, but for Jay to not get one win over Roman doesn't make sense. And that's digressing into a whole other point. But the thing is, Jey Uso, one of the greatest tag team wrestlers ever. And promos really weren't. Promos were never an issue with Jey Uso until the Yeet gimmick. He didn't get over because of the Yeet. I don't like that narrative that he got over because it's a one-word catchphrase. No, he got over during the initial turn when he finally turned on Roman. That's when he got over. Go back and watch the promo. He didn't say yeet once in that. And who said it first? It don't matter who said it first. They were saying it when it became popular, but nobody really cared because they started doing it when it was dying out. So when Jay attacked Otis in 2020 or 2021, Roman told him to attack Otis, and he said yeet. That's where it started. But let's not act like he got over because of that. But if you want to make an argument that Sami can be a world champion, that's cool. He's had a good career. It's been in the mid card. His best character is probably a conspiracy theory gimmick. Had one of the best celebrity matches of all time with Johnny Knoxville. Probably Sami's best career match. The match against Gunther was good. It wasn't some spectacle. It wasn't some 5-star match, but it was a good match. It was a cool WrestleMania moment. The tag team match with him and Kevin Owens versus the Usos is really good. The Bloodline probably his second best character work. But Sami Zayn, how is he the underdog when he's main event to WrestleMania? He went toe-to-toe with Roman Reigns and only lost due to interference. Like, that man cannot be an underdog. If you want to, like I said, if you think Sami should be a world champion, then make the argument for it without having to compare him to other people and always using Jey Uso as, oh, if this guy can get a world championship, then so can other people. That don't make sense. A lot of these guys they aren't as credible as Jey Uso. That's just honest truth. And y'all don't like it, but Jey Uso winning the world championship was the right idea. They just pulled the trigger on it too late. Same with Dominic winning the IC title. It should have happened earlier when he was a bigger heel. It's been a decent reign, like in the feud with AJ, but he should have did that a bit earlier. He should have won the title a bit earlier, and then he still could have lost to AJ. Maybe he could have had a feud with Rey Mysterio, beat Rey, and then he has to feud with AJ Styles after that, and that's when he loses. So he gonna be IC champion and just not feud with Rey. Rey might still be injured, so that could be why. But the main reason I wanted to make this video is because a lot of the hate, the forced hate that Jade Cargill gets. Jade, and I've seen this one post. I'm not giving credit to this creator. because they just seem like an asshole. But they were saying that Jade is so amazing and people hate on Jade, so but why do you praise Liv Morgan and Io Sky? And the points this person was making that makes sense to me, saying that Liv hasn't improved since 2017, saying that Io only does trash can spots and war games matches. That's complete BS. I think Jade is good, but I don't have to compare her to other people or tear down other people to make that statement and provide my reason why. Because at the end of the day, if you don't want to see something cool with Io doing a trash can spot, you're just lame. That's hard to pull off anyways, because she can't see. She just has to jump off the cage and trust the other women in the ring to catch her. That's very difficult to pull off. I like this spot personally. That's a cool spot. If you don't like the trash can spot that Io does in War Games matches, you're just lame. And to say that Liv hasn't improved from 2017 to 2024 is wild to me. Not even going to use this year since she's been injured. But she was having a solid 2025 as well. But to say that she hasn't improved, it's crazy. When she was terrible, she wasn't anything in 2017. Her beating Ronda Rousey, even though it wasn't believable, but in 2022, it didn't seem believable at the time. But they tried. And even from then, even from 2017 to 2022, she definitely improved over that time. And then once she got the title again in 2024, she had a great 2024. So I don't get how you try to discredit Liv Morgan when she's improved each year of her career. Her first time being in the spotlight as a world champion didn't go so well. Wasn't booked the greatest, but she also didn't do a good job either. Then in 2024, it did a lot better. Under Triple H booking, I don't know how much I can say, but she did a lot better with that character, her being champion. I enjoyed it. Dom turning heel on Rhea, amazing. So he had two Dom turn heel while being heel. That's amazing. So I don't get why you can't give credit to all three of these women, or just mention one of them without mentioning the other two, because I find that disrespectful, because it's unnecessary. What did Liv and Io have to do? Io is one of the best in-ring performers in wrestling, period. Not just WWE. The only people I'm putting above Io in ring is Ospreay, Kenny Omega, Seth Rollins, and Zack Sabre Jr. probably. Nobody else is better. I can't think of anybody else better than Io in ring, in my opinion. Those are the only four people I'm putting above her in terms of wrestling, just in ring. Only four people I'm putting above her. So to discredit her because she does a cool trash can spot, I don't get that. Like, you can build up, you can give credit to Jade without being disrespectful to other people. Like, Jade Cargill had a great AEW run, was the second greatest. Now that she's out the company, I think Tony Khan wants to make Mercedes the longest reigning TBS champion, and Mercedes' reign has been better. And I don't think that's a fault of Jade. I just think that Mercedes is an all-time legend, in my opinion. So that should be expected. But out of 6 or 7 TBS champions, Jade has had the second greatest TBS championship reign. Had a better reign than Willow, better reign than Chris Statlander, better reign than Julia Hart, etc. And now I think Willow had the short. It was either Willow or Chris. One of them had a short reign. So they definitely need to get in the spotlight again. But Jade, she had a great TBS championship reign. The stuff with the baddies was cool. The matches with Red Velvet and Kiera Hogan were good matches. And it had a good story with it, with the baddies club, and it made a lot of sense. And those are two smaller women. And in WWE, she hasn't worked well with smaller women. And maybe that's because these women can't slow down. Because Kiera Hogan, Red Velvet, they were able to adjust to Jade's style. Roxanne and Asuka they weren't able to do that in WWE. So is that a fault of Jade, or is that a fault of the more experienced, more veteran women? She's had a good WWE run. And also in AEW, she was a dominant heel. And now in WWE, she's had a good run being a tag team champion, a 2-time tag team champion, having the best feud of the year up to this point with Naomi. Was she injured the entire time? No, but she was. They did confirm that she was injured for part of the time she was out, and they extended her being out because they wanted to bring her back at the right moment. They said, if you want to say that the Unreal stuff is scripted or what, they did say that. I don't find a reason for them to make that up. They said that she was out longer than she was supposed to be because she was in a performance center, but you can train while being injured. They did say she was injured for some of that time, not all of it, but you can train while being injured. I don't know where acting like that's some foreign concept. You can definitely train while being injured. But Jade, she's had a good run in WWE. Her matches with Nia Jax, like I said, Naomi, both of those really good matches, had a good story. The feud with Nia could have been way better if they capitalized on it earlier, because they already had history. Dating back to last year in the Queen of the Ring tournament, or somewhere leading up to that. the matches she had with Tiffany, I like the first one better. They had on SmackDown. There was a no contest, but even they had solid chemistry. I just think that Tiffany, she botched when Jade hit the Jaded, because Tiffany's foot was supposed to be on the rope. Jade shouldn't have to put Tiffany's foot on the rope. Tiffany is the one that's more experienced. But you can talk about how good and dominant Jade is without diminishing what Io Sky and Liv Morgan can do. Don't just refuse to acknowledge the improvement of Liv Morgan from 2017 to 2024, even to 2022. Because 2022 Liv is much better than 2017 Liv, and 2024 Liv is much better than 2022 Liv. She's improved, so to say that she hasn't improved is rambunctious. And then Io, like I said, 5th best in-ring performer in the world of professional wrestling right now. Yeah, I don't get that. And it even applies to other sports. I don't feel like giving too many examples, but I think the biggest example when it comes to this is LeBron and MJ. If you want to say either one of them the GOAT, or if you want to mention Kareem or Magic or Tim Duncan, whoever, it's your opinion at the end of the day. But I don't think, and I'm going to make a video about this, why I think LeBron is the greatest NBA player of all time. But I don't have to discredit or disrespect Jordan to do that. Or if somebody's making an argument for Jordan, they don't have to say, well, if MJ was on the Lakers, they wouldn't lose in the first round. First of all, that doesn't even make sense. The nigga is old. Second of all, y'all always like to use hypotheticals and stuff that can't be proven. If it's hypothetical, don't argue it. It can't be proven. It can't be physically, mentally proven. The only way you can prove that it's in a video game, which is not accurate. So at the end of the day, if you think somebody's the GOAT, or you think somebody is better than what people portray, just talk about that person specifically and talk about what good they've done. Then when people ask you to compare them to other people, you don't have to. If you want to, you cool, because you were asked to. So then that's different. But to just make these line comparisons for no reason, it's kind of ridiculous to me. Like I said, I'll make a video about LeBron being the greatest NBA player of all time next week, probably. Yeah, because that's my opinion. I can do it. Obviously, I'm comparing to other players. People are going to be compared all the time, but to diminish the value of one person or multiple people to build up the value of somebody else is ridiculous to me. That don't make sense. So leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. A comment what y'all thought. Prayers up to Liv Morgan. I don't know when she'll be back. Hopefully she's back by 2026. The Io story, I'm loving it with Io, Rhea, and the Kabuki Warriors. Liking that. Jade, hope she gets a world title at some point. Then Sammy might win. He's feeling with Solo. He's not become a world champion. And MJ, LeBron, whoever's her GOAT, I don't really care. And it's your opinion.